like a
Yeah.
good morning. This day has never ended, Mike. I feel like I'm on a
No.
what do you call it, hamster wheel, but it's all in a good way. At least the wheel's moving forward, right? That's the best perspective we can say.
Since San Antonio, I mean, you pretty much have one big block party, man. Diplo's Revolution. It's just an endless 24-hour party, man. Wow. So,
It has been
yeah,
busy.
dude,
Er,
lots of. First of all, I got to give a shout out because he's not here, so I can pick on him. Um, Michael Gale. Michael Gale is in Alaska. He's fighting bears like he likes to do in his pastime and teaching other people to do that. So, Michael Gale, you got your TP. You're here with spirit, my friend. Have a good day. All right, come back safely. All
That's the
right.
longest
Um,
roll of toilet paper that's lasted for like 6 months now, Mike. That is like some heavy
so,
duty, brawny, like toilet paper.
Ron- Ronnie, because dadgummit, I mean, you got to keep up the country macho, machismo, right? Brawny, dadgum straight. Who we got? We got James and Patrick. All right, we got Bart and Ernie of the Soaring Prophets, man. So good to see them. Janice Shokrian, who I finally, after a year of being my buddy, I actually got her name right. Um, LinkedIn user. Um, wow, man. So yeah, that's people are actually seeing this in the first 10 minutes or first 1 minute. So good. Hey, how was your weekend? Did you work all the time? Did you have any fun? What did you do?
I actually found my happy place. So, had a girlfriend come up on Friday, stay at my other girlfriend's house from high school days. So, I had not seen her in 31 years. And she had just
Wow.
celebrated her 30th anniversary. What do you call it? 30th reunion. And she's showing us pictures at dinner, right? And I'm
Hmm.
looking, I'm like, I don't recognize any of these people because she was a year younger than us, right? And I was just so, I was laughing because I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I was a senior. I didn't give two rats, you know what, about the juniors. I just didn't. So I didn't recognize a lot of these people. I felt horrible for saying it, but you know what? It was high school, but we ended up. The reason why she came into town was because the Depeche Mode concert on Sunday, and I gotta
Oh,
tell you, I um, I was thoroughly impressed by the guys. The boys still delivered. Rest in peace, Andy Fletcher. But good show. I was in my happy
good.
place, Mike. So unfortunately, it did not sustain my happy place for the rest of
Yeah.
this week because today's been hell on earth. So, but hey, we're
Yeah, I'm
here. We're
with you.
happy. We're here.
I'm
We're
glad I
happy.
can take you out of your I'm glad to be your grumpy place. How's that? So, but hey, you all kidding aside, man, you work hard. We're all doing it. And again, that's the point. Better problems. So the problem was we didn't have much work back in December. And now we got a lot of work and we're trying to figure out how to keep going, right? And that's the problem. So let me real quick while because I'm gonna show you what I did this weekend. Kind of proud of myself. Uh but Felipe is here. Um Kenny D, Ken Dunner, man, he is here, saving the flavor, buddy. Glad you can join us. Um, and wow, look, Kelly's here, Kelly Wagner's here, Claudia. Okay, I'm just gonna. They're all piling in. So why don't we show? Um, See now, I want to see what I did this weekend. Well, not necessarily me. Yeah. So she's gonna be a builder, a doctor or a builder, or something, dude. She is crafty. That's my little girl Emma. So that's what I did this weekend. I had lots of stuff to do. Always a list. And anybody who has a business or a career or a school teacher, somebody has like real work. You don't. There's no stopping. There's no catching up. I've heard somebody say, "Oh, I'm going to catch up." When does that ever happen? Like I used to say that, and my buddy's like, "You never catch up." I'm like, "No, you don't. You just reprioritize things." So, but that cat was sitting in the middle of the bathroom and she's just amazed by the toilet. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she learned how to open the toilet when she don't have thumbs. So I'm still stuck on that one. But anyway, she plays in the toilet. But we did surgery on this doll. I like to say this doll's leg is now fine. We are a very good team. She was the doctor, I was the nurse, and I was okay with that. So, and that is not a monopoly. That's not a monopoly instruction manual. That is the patient chart, by the way. That
Oh,
was my weekend. Yeah.
well. Hey, I gotta tell you, that's that middle picture. I was cracking up because you're like Mary Poppins. The outline in the shadow is like, oh, there's Mike and his head, his hat. Like I don't. I probably should zoom it in if I could, but yeah, that's pretty damn funny. That's like an image of Mike.
I didn't even notice. And what I don't know what happened to the picture, but there's a guy on the roof, and she sit there from the morning to night. That was sundown, and she watched them build that roof. I guarantee you, if you ask her how to do it, she would know. She has loved construction, dude. and it felt bad because there's guys working on a Saturday and we're out eating a sandwich watching them, but she's 4. So we turned away like we were doing something else and let her watch because that's what she wanted to do. She loved watching what they were doing up there. So fun times. All right, you ready to roll the intro?
I am ready to roll, my friend. Here we go.
Sweet. Yes, ma'am.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashebrainer, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
All right.
Ooh.
All right, man. I am so excited, man. So September 15th to October 15th is you know, Hispanic Heritage Month, right? And we remember Raquel kicked that off with all the countries, and that was super awesome a few weeks ago. And so then I had to have 2 all-star ladies, man. I had to have 2 leaders of that come out. And I'm so glad that they joined us. So before we get to these ladies, I know everybody's here for them, not for me. And that's totally okay, man. I'm a winner because some reason winners hang out with me. That's how I kind of see it. So these people are awesome, man. I love them. I love all the folks here today. Man, y'all are great. You make this happen. This is your time. Hey, by the way, before we get into it, don't forget network. It's worth at least a couple viral posts, man. Say hi to people, interact, follow, man, just talk to each other. It's kindergarten skills. Nobody worried about being known in kindergarten. Y'all just, hi, how are you? Let's go. And let's do this. Okay. So absolutely have fun in there. Ask questions. This is your show, man. This is free advice too, free inspiration. So that's why I do this. So I don't have to pay for actual coaching all the time. This is good stuff. So what do we
Well,
got?
speaking of paying for coaching,
Yeah, forecast sunny, man. Go check out. They got a and I can't remember the date. Somebody save me. It's really close. It's coming up and they have a lot of great stuff, but this workshop is for folks who are fairly new entrepreneurs. We're all on a budget. And I just love what they offer because they do. They offer, marketing services for businesses and small businesses, but they didn't leave people like me out, right? Who are growing and other folks who are still growing. We've all been there, right? So they're doing things that help solopreneurs who are trying to grow and branch out their businesses before they can and hire people, right? So check them
right?
out. They got lots of great tools, lots of good stuff out there for folks out. So I want to make sure that everybody checks this out. And they got a lot of free stuff, and the digital duo. So it's a mom and daughter team, right? Kelly Wagner and Morgan Wagner, and both phenomenal ladies, and the families involved, and they all have these things going on. And I find that special, see it, because that's, if my daughters want to, they can. I don't expect them to, but it's there if they want it. That's why I build this. And so I really find that inspiring. I love that. The tools and the family unit, man, that does a lot for me. So appreciate these ladies. They got a lot of good stuff. Check out their content, follow them, and go check out their website. And Kelly is in the comments, so go DM right now. Like go over there and check them out, connect with them. Thank you for showing up, Kelly. You're awesome. And this lady, all right, well, no stranger, man. One of the top Hounds leaders, man. We would not be who we are today without this amazing lady, Miss Raquel. See, I'm rolling that R. I'm, got a little. My allergies are helping me do this a little bit better, I think. So Miss Raquel Flores, she will be on what time? Oh, 11 a.m. We got a time. Woo! Look at us,
EST,
man.
EST. It's always 10
Eastern,
a.m. Saturday mornings now. Yep.
but at Eastern Standard Time. My goodness, Sia, I am so proud of you for putting Eastern Standard Time up there. Wow, yep,
That was
just for
actually
me.
Raquel. That was
Oh,
Raquel, not me.
she
I
messaged
refuse.
she messaged just for me backstage. She said, "Yeah, we did that just for you because Sia's tired of hearing about it." Probably right. All right. So these guys, and Felipe, man, brand new hound, Enrique, and I can't even see that. Is that Dimitri?
Dimitri. And
Dimitri.
Felipe is in the comments, you guys. So chat up Felipe. He's here. So
Yeah.
shout out.
I think Felipe's on his way to the Hounds, but I think he got lost on the GPS. So we got to get him. He's coming. So man,
Well,
Felipe, I
he's in the
appreciate
chat, Mike. He's in the chat.
it. Okay, so
So talk to him.
I told y'all I had issues with chat. or maybe I'm just an old hillbilly that can't work technology. I'm gonna get my Etch a Sketch. All right. So go check this out. This is an amazing time. This is never old, and it was in Spanish, and it was still awesome. They went back and forth in the Spanish, and that was really fun, man. We had a great show. So everybody go check her out. 11 a.m. You won't be sorry. All right, see ya. Take this one for me. I need a drink.
Yeah, so this is the announcement of the Safe and Sound show that's coming this fall, the end of October. It is part of the Caregiving Worldwide Television Network that is launching, which is actually it's helmed by one of the Hounds of Business community, Tracy Lamb. She is the founder of it, and it is the first and only network dedicated to the caregiving industry for both caregivers as well as care recipients and for families. So for anyone that's looking for peace of mind, want to get more educated on just the whole idea of taking care of your loved one at all stages of life, definitely check out Safe and Sound and the Caregiving Worldwide Television Network. And what's not on here is also season 2 of Caregiving Worldwide Television show. The show itself, season 2 is up and out, and you should be seeing a lot of great announcements from them. Caregiving Worldwide TV Network is a proud sponsor of your show, Mike.
Yeah, it is. And again, all heart. This is not something where people just got together to make money or like just like, hey, let's start a bank, man. And, there's nothing wrong with that. But this is something that came from a necessity. This come from people's lives and they saw other people and they wanted to do something special, man. So this no joke here. And by the way, I'm not going to spill the beans. You'll see it. Tracy Lamb. All right, go ahead and follow her. Lots of good, exciting things. Uh, all we can say is stay tuned. All right. Good things are coming. So go follow Tracy Lamb. Hope somebody drop her in the comments. I'm sure she's going to be here. But we appreciate her. She is a fantastic woman, wonderful CEO, and we can't thank her enough.
And just if I may add, Janice Shokrian is in the comments, you guys. She's executive producer for Safe and Sound television show, and she's also the founder of Tausi. If anyone familiar with this pillow that's behind me, pillowcase. So you guys definitely check it out. The Tausi is going to get featured on Safe and Sound as well. And by the way, all the products on Safe and Sound are vetted, seal of approval from Adaptive Equipment and Caregiving Corner. They are it's Cindy and Christina, the hosts. They are known on YouTube, Instagram, over 2 million downloads of their content. So they are quite the influencers, folks. So there you go.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to give a plug out to Janice. Janice saw people suffering, her own dad, and everybody's neck crink. I saw that with my grandmother. But what I didn't do, for whatever reason, was go out there and do all the painstaking work to build a business to provide a solution. That's what all this is about, guys, man. This is about solutions to the caregivers and care partners trying to give better quality of life to their loved ones. All right, so thank you, ladies, man. Y'all are awesome. And then, hey, last but certainly not least, I think last,
No,
Mike
second
King.
to last.
Second to last. All right, good. So Mike King at Mike King Biz Radio. This guy, you got to check this guy out. When it comes to spotlighting amazing things in the community, he is now moving out of just in Virginia and local. He's branched out already, and love this guy. He does all kind of things. He's made it possible for our business bets and buddies. We record that Tuesday 7 p.m. on Raquel's LinkedIn, and that airs
No, it's on
Friday.
Brilliant Beam.
Oh, it's on Brilliant Beam. Man, y'all don't tell me nothing. That's okay. I need a keeper. I got 3 keepers, man. Thank goodness. All right. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
It's on Brilliant Beam. Okay, so just follow everybody. You'll just be there. But yeah, no, this guy is fantastic. We appreciate him. And we're spotlighting so many. We have the Fantasy League, where we're all pitched up against each other and it's fun, but we talk about some serious things, man. We have great guests on there. We talk about real world issues, how to get involved with some amazing things in the world right now. Because come on, who can't use some positive and some happy right now? Come on, dude. Don't turn the news on. All right, better is to check this guy out and go watch some good stuff, man. So Mike King, appreciate you. You're our champion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. King Mike.
King Mike. And would you mind taking this one?
Sure. So this is a Global Summit Leaders event. This is another fellow hound. So Dr. CJ Leland is putting on this very ambitious global event. And basically, guys, this is going to be an amazing opportunity to learn from some amazing, I'd say, experienced folks in their respective fields. And they will be sharing their knowledge and wisdom over 3 days. starting on the 12th through the 14th. And it'll be a virtual global event. And guys, just super excited. CJ has cultivated some really interesting different topics. In fact, I just met an individual and I forgot your name, sir. I apologize, but he's an archaeologist. Like, I mean, come on, guys.
Wow.
These are like really interesting areas. Obviously, I will be talking about live stream and digital content on the budget for those that need to do it on their own. I mean, there are definitely ways that you can grow yourself, your personal brand, and your business all in one place with the most accommodating, nice, and friendly folks out there. So, guys, absolutely go to the Global Summit Leaders event. It is starting next week, and you will have access to a lot of our content, guys. So a lot of these are authors. These are a lot of course leaders, so you'll have access to their courses. There'll be PDF giveaways that you will have access for, like one sheets, so you don't have to take notes if you are not inclined to take notes. There's just so much value that you'll get from this. So I cannot impart more with you that we are recharge and in charge. So let's go ahead and support one another. Let's fill our batteries and let's freaking take the world by storm.
And I'm telling you, man, there's so no one I know that can get a bunch of winners to come together and give a bunch of free stuff like Dr. Constance Leland, dude. That wow. There's so much value to be had here, guys. Go follow her. She's in the comments. Unbelievable. And I'm so happy to see all these amazing hounds as part of this, and then future hounds, right? Because I love good-hearted winners. So thank you all. And without further ado, and by the way, Sia, thank you. You're awesome. Yeah, dude. And thank you for keeping up with me, because I don't have to. You're like my little organizer, man. So I appreciate you 1,000. So let's see who we got. Let's bring up Miss Raquel Flores first. Yay! Let's hit that applause button. That off the ham radio.
Okay, here we go.
I've never seen him. It sounds like me. How are you, Miss Raquel?
I got the long applause today. Wow.
Yeah, you did. You're awesome, man. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fantastic now that I'm here. I was backstage trying to chug down the sippies here after you said dadgummit so many times. But I'm so happy to be here, happy to share the stage with another fantastic Latina. So, yes.
Dude, look, I know you blush and say, "Oh, don't do this." But I'm going to read the bios because you all have some great bio. I want to set the stage because this is, again, Heritage Month, and we want to make sure that we understand where you ladies come from, because your story is great, but we understand where you came from and the challenges that we're going to talk about. This is inspiring to all people. All of us can relate to your all story and what it takes for you to overcome, and that's what this is about today. So as you can tell, I've been studying you, man. I've been working. I watch you and Oprah. I'm working on my hosting game. Yes, ma'am. All right. So let me get to it, because I met you, and then I met you. You introduced me to tons of people, but Sandra was one of those people. And boy, it just, birds of a feather flock together. So I'm going to read this to you. Try not to blush. Raquel Flores grew up in El Salvador, a traumatic and turbulent country and culture. At a very young age, she was separated from her parents for a period of 7 years while they acclimated to life in the United States. It was during these uncertain and chaotic years that she was exposed to the harshest elements of her culture. Though she faced circumstances no child should ever witness, she learned to become self-reliant and resilient, attributes that would help her escape the cultural clash. Now, decades after being in the U.S., she's still acutely aware that the Salvadorian women are not raised to openly discuss the problems that persist in her culture. After breaking her own bonds of oppression and limitation, she made it her mission to uplift other women entrepreneurs facing their own limitations and help give them a voice and a platform for growth. Today, Raquel specializes in unleashing leaders who have a new idea, product, or service to share that uplifts others. Through her podcast and coaching program, her inspirational leadership helps them transform their mindsets from dreamers to doers. With this focus, she has helped build a large LinkedIn network, as us, of loyal and like-minded connections who support each other. Her specialty is helping women entrepreneurs to unleash their prowess, potential so they can unlock the leader within. She's also the author of the upcoming Culture Clash book and host of the Lifting Up Leaders podcast series.
Wow,
Y'all didn't know I
Mike,
could read like that.
You got through that. Wow. I know, right? That's a
You gave him a
novela.
novella? Like, On what universe did we think that was a good idea?
Girl,
Dude,
no,
where's
he
that
got
applause
that novella.
button? Where's it?
Damn! Oh, yeah, I know here. Yeah.
Come on, man. Don't be stingy with that button. Is it like $5 a button or something?
So wait,
What's
wait,
going
wait. When I told
Shit.
you I want to
Shoot.
be in a novela, remember we've been like manifesting. It's like I'm gonna be in a movie or like one of those telenovelas, right? Is this the Hounds of Business telenovela, Mark? I mean, Mike, is that what it
Hey,
is?
Fracking felt
listen,
like it.
I fill out the
I felt like I
red
got
carpet.
all the highs and lows. And Mike, I think we should bring another high up because this
Well,
show's starting to like, get into more novella
novella. I'm
mode
about to
here.
Google what the. So, hey, Miss Raquel, you good? You because I met you, and then I met this lady, and this lady, man, y'all are just so like awesome, man. So I can't bring her up. Let's bring her
Yeah,
up. She's dying to
absolutely.
come up.
So, how about we definitely introduce one of, like I said, another Latina powerhouse, an amazing woman. Sandra is a retired Marine officer who turned executive coach. She's an internationally known speaker, and she helps high caliber entrepreneurs, executive CEOs, and to elevate their mindset so they can take command of any room and they step into and magnetize opportunities for growth. She's passionate about empowering leaders so they can be authentic as they lead others in achieving high performance. Sandra has spoken in Dubai, Miami, Austin, Los Angeles, Mexico, and currently resides in San Diego. Sandra has two daughters, Alisa, who's a junior at UCSD, and her oldest daughter, Alana, in the U.S. Marine Veteran. She's a veteran already, living and studying in North Carolina. So without further ado, Sandra, welcome. I'm so proud to be sharing the stage with you.
It's an absolute honor to be here. It's been so much fun. I love the Hounds family. Thank you for having me. And now I'm part of this novella. Bring
Yes.
it. Bring it.
Oh
Oh my
my
gosh.
God.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Like any good novella. Hold on. I need to do something.
Yes. Yes.
We should all do like turn and like look at the same time. Okay, sorry. I can't. I watched way too many novellas as a kid, telenovelas when I was growing up, not understanding that it was in Spanish. So sorry.
Yeah,
That's
that's why
my
y'all have me
fault.
back there Googling what this is, so I don't look like hillbilly.
Soap
I'm,
operas. Think soap
okay,
operas, Mike.
I did. I got that. All right. So Sandra, you are fun. You're awesome, and it took you long enough. It took me long enough to
Mhm.
to get you to come, and I love your authenticity, man. You are not. You don't just jump into stuff. You observe things. You're very thought out. You're very clear about things, and you have a heart of gold. So let me jump right in because I know. And by the way, audience, ask questions. This is what for you guys, man. We'll try to get to as many as we can, but ask questions, cheerlead, talk, push each other up, share your own experiences, man. This is what this is about. Okay. Too many times we got to be tough guys and girls and stuff, and we got to be done. Look, there's a United States Marine right here. Hey, fireman, we got Sia, who's tougher than her, right? So like, let it loose. Just be cool, have fun, ask questions, have a good time. All right. So, ladies, let me start off with, with our guest of honor. If I can get the sheet to pull up, yeah. Can you share a bit? So, share a little bit about your background and upbringing. We read your bio, but how did it shape where you are today? So your upbringing to who you are today.
I assume this question's for me or Raquel because I know we're
Oh,
both
you.
here. So I grew up. I grew up in I was born in Los Angeles. Grew up here in San Diego. Mexican American. You know, I I am the eldest of three children, and growing up, I had this tough dad where I experienced male, this machismo. What is machismo? It's like this male dominant figure. And I realized there's something special about my dad, not necessarily because he was, machista. It was because he had sexy confidence. Even though he was an immigrant to this country, my dad was assertive. My dad had clarity. My dad spoke with conviction. And I picked up on this, as I grew up. I said, you know what? Why do people respect my dad? He has maybe but a high school education. To me, he's just this Mexican, very Mexican, old school conservative man, but why do people highly respect him? Later on, I realized when I joined the Marine Corps that my dad had this ability to cultivate sexy confidence. Now, sexy confidence is this ability to master yourself and stay calm during stressful challenges and situations. And I bring this up, Mike, because, that was part of my upbringing. I was like, man, what is this machismo? I want some of that. But yet, I'm a woman. So, how can I cultivate this machismo to be assertive, to go after the things I want, and, assert my autonomy, my independence, and be this go getter? So, there was a lot of conflicting emotions, I would say, because I was a woman and the way, I was raised as a Latina. And I don't know about you, Raquel, but as a Mexican, as a Mexican American, it's frowned upon to be too assertive, to say what's on your mind, to go after the things you want. And growing up, I was a tomboy. I was very competitive. I love sports. I fell in love with, you know, guns. And that's one of the things my father taught me, was to face my fears. Now I can go on and on about my life story, but in a nutshell, that's what I experienced, was this man who had sexy confidence. And then as I became a Marine, I experienced this with the ultra successful Marine leaders that I'll share about here as we go on in the show.
My goodness. Well,
Yeah.
if I may, if I may say, thank you for your service, Sandra. Seriously, no joke. Just because you're phenomenal, you're fantastic. So we didn't hear the applause, but go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It cost $5 when you did it.
I was on mute. I was on mute. Sorry.
Put $1 in the back.
Yeah, I definitely love how you pretty much narrated that, because my story is similar to yours, and in the sense that we were already kind of predisposed to be submissive, to not have these powerful attitudes, or just being strong in our convictions. Really, we were not allowed to be ourselves, authentically who we are as Raquel, who you are as Sandra. We were already predisposed to wear this hat. You do this, you sit over there, you look pretty, you hush hush. And at the end of the day, that's not who we were. That's why you see how our lives were literally lived, in our lived experiences, how they determined how we moved forward in our young adulthood life. And now, even now, I believe in even more now. Sandra, I know you and I have had this conversation that, we are here to stay. We're here to stir the pot in a very positive way, porque somos chingonas. We are a new breed of Latinas who are really trying to make things happen for the world. So I just wanted to interject and say that.
I know. I love that, Raquel. And, now as a retired Marine officer turned executive coach speaker, like, I love when I connect with chingonas, and a chingona is a female badass. So for male, it would be chingon, but it's this badass who, in my personal opinion, lives with integrity and has a heart-centered approach and is here to serve others.
Absolutely. And Mike, this is your show, you feel free to jump in at any time.
I'm excited. I heard Chingonas and I was like, yeah, I'm in. Where are we at now? What's
Hey,
going on?
it's
Jump
my
in.
show, but look, I mean, this conversation just flowed. You two ladies are brilliant. I love this. I mean, but the only thing I'd like to add, though, because to Sandra's point, from the dad aspect, like that makes me, we care more than we act like, especially when we're all macho or something, and we're tough guys or whatever it may be. But I think I've heard this somewhere, and I've always remembered it, and I think it was the most useful advice I've ever heard, was nurture the nature, right? And I think past the gender, like what's acceptable, in different cultures for men and women and things is, my little girl loves construction stuff, loves building, and I'm like, hey, I got her a toolkit. I'm out there with her. I told everybody about where I had to hold the door for like 30 minutes while she put the hinge on, and it was driving me crazy. I'm like, "Let me do it. No, I got this." And I'm like, "I don't have nowhere to be. It's Saturday, right?" So, and Raquel, I know that, family means everything to you. So that is just, it just helped me because as a dad, we don't know if we're doing a good job, and we always kind of assume we're not. So this is really inspiring that, because your dads weren't perfect people, but they didn't have to be, correct?
I mean, I completely agree. I wouldn't say my parents were perfect. I mean, heck, we're neither of us are perfect, but they tried. They tried the best given what they knew, given their generational teachings, and so I don't blame them. Just like I mentioned in my book, I don't blame my parents for not having the knowledge that I needed, or that they can instill in me at that point for me to become a little bit for my journey to be a little less tumultuous, if I should say. But in those trials and tribulations that life provided me, that's where my growth really expanded. That's where it happened. And so I am thankful for those moments. Otherwise, I wouldn't be, be right here in front of you guys talking about my story. But to say that though, you brought it an aspect, and I want to commend you on that, Mike. You allow your daughter to play with, trucks and building tools and stuff like that. See, that was frowned upon. Like,
Mm.
you're gonna play with muñecas,
Wow.
which are dolls, basically. You cannot be doing. I love soccer. We come from a soccer breathing country like El Salvador, and I don't have any sisters, so obviously all the time I was playing with boys, and what do they play? Soccer. So I learned how to play soccer, but whenever I came to this country and I wanted to join a team, my parents were like, "Girls don't play soccer." So no,
Right.
you don't do that. So it's one of those cultural stigmatizations like we have to honestly break. And this is where I was telling Sandra that, we have a huge responsibility to carry the torch forward, but not really, breaking the chains of the cultural anchors that have held us for so long.
Can I make a point and add one thing here that you said? And it's about choice of words, right? And we are a product of our upbringing, but you said you were impressed that you allow Mike to let Emma play with toys and trucks, whatever. That word allow already is a part of the challenge of us overcoming that. Is
Yeah.
there really an allowance? Like you have to have permission to play with things that interest you as a child, right? Um, of all the times to be curious, of all the times to let your mind wander, to learn new things, to be exposed to different perspective. It's as a child, right? Let use your imagination. So I just want to throw that up and out there that even us, as much as we want to change the world for better, we are still using terminology that we're not even conscious of half the time, which is so
Right.
deeply ingrained, right? Culturally. I'm Asian. I can tell you culturally, there's a lot of stuff that is just it's little baby bites to allow time to flow. So if I can I ask Sandra, uh, I am so impressed by you. You seem like a very I won't call you soft spoken. You're a very strong woman, I can tell. But did I hear you right? You were a drill sergeant?
Sia, you're absolutely right. I was a drill instructor. The Army has drill sergeants, and the Marine Corps has drill instructors. So for 3 years, I trained over 500 women recruits for the rigors of combat so they could survive and thrive in a hostile environment. And throughout my 20 years of service, I, really sharpened my masculinity. It's one of the things that was part of this male machismo that I realized, you know what? This masculinity, this is some good shit. And I want some of this because I want to be assertive. I want to, lead. I knew that leadership was another important thing that really inspired me, And having said that, going back to your question, Sia, it wasn't until I went through my trials and tribulations, I had some setbacks,
Mm,
that
mm.
that really rattles me at my core. And I realized, my goodness, you know what? My masculinity is not my superpower. It's my femininity. It's my
Mhm.
ability to forgive. It's my ability to understand how to fill up my love tank. It's my ability to forgive myself first and foremost so I can understand others. It's this ability to be receptive, to, engage, be patient. So thank you for that, Sia. I've learned that, it's a dance. I not only did I have the machismo from a male father figure, but I also received the femininity aspect from my mother. She was
Love it.
calm, she was receptive. She knew how to master herself and stay calm during stressful challenges and situations. But yes, I was a Marine Corps drill instructor, and that was a lot of fun. And we could talk about that any other time.
Yeah.
No, I love it, and I think that's the important thing, though, is that strength in your the femininity is a superpower. I mean, when I think of women, myself, I guess included, but I do think the multitasking, the ability to actually
Yeah.
truly multitask,
Yes.
work life balance, personal life. So, Mike, what were you going to say?
No, I agree. I love where this went, man, because again, the energy levels of masculinity and feminine. I mean, you all see me a year and a half ago. I've been around professional women, right? Or I'd be homeless if it wasn't for professional women helping me and giving me opportunities, right? It sounds funny, but it's true. But I noticed that in recent, I matured a whole lot, a whole lot. Like, when I'm ready to strike or get all mad, I'm like, let me think about this. Or I'll pick up the phone and call, Becky or Raquel or Sia or somebody and say, hey, so it's a balancing act. It's like one's not better than the other. If you have a campfire and something goes out of control, now it's a forest fire. So you want to temper things. I think that's what I see from you. You appreciated those things. You were drawn to those things, Sandra. But it's not all one thing. You chose your own path, and you're a very well balanced individual. And I think that's where all people can be excited, right? And I think that's like the same for Sia and Raquel, right? You're
Yeah.
unique in your own way, but you're balanced and you own that perspective. I'm just kind of floored. But it's hard to find words. Go ahead.
Yeah. If I may interject, Mike, you know why I am balanced? Because I had a father like yourself, like Emma. You brought up Emma earlier today,
Mhm.
her beautiful pictures and what you've done to be there, giving her your undivided attention. I had a man like that in my life, my father. I did lose him 2 years ago. That was part of my setback. I learned so much from my father's demise, but it's men like you. This world needs men like you, Mike. Men who step up and pay attention to their children, even though their mind might be okay. It's been 30 minutes now with my daughter, and you feel yourself losing your patience, but this is where you need to be. And it's those circumstances, those things, those memories you create with Emma that leave an indelible mark in her heart. And because of that, she's going to be confident. She's going to be
Mhm.
assertive and know, you know what? I don't need external validation. I understand my self worth because I had a father who adored me, who loved me unconditionally. And that's what you're doing, Mike. So I applaud you, brother, for what you do. And I can't wait to hear more about you and your family.
Yeah, no, I got to give a shout out because Kira is my oldest, and she is my mini me. That's my genetics at work, and I wouldn't trade her for anything. But yeah, like people say, why she do that? I'm like, so she's mine. Like that's there's no other explanation. But
Yes.
I appreciate that affirmation, and it's hard because we have to pay the bills, we have to build a business. I don't have a lot of free time. But again, with the coaches and a lot of the ladies that I look up to that help me, and I do it anyway. And they were right. They were right. Hey, tomorrow can wait. That thing you can get done. You can move less priority things so you can spend time with your daughter. That's been instrumental. So again, power of community, a power of sharing these stories, power of just being together in this and not
Mhm.
alone. And wow, you ladies really shore that up. So I know there's some other thoughts. Who's got one? I'm not going to interrupt this. Keep going if you want.
No, I mean, the one thing that I was going to say, to allude back to, to the parental, more than anything, the father figure. So, again, I will state that I don't blame my parents for not equipping me for some of the things that I needed in order to navigate the assimilation and acculturation process when I was younger. But in its sense, that helped me to really develop my character. And so my character tends to be a little strong, too strong for what a Latina woman would be in a sense, in essence, when speaking up. Yes, as Latinas, we're defined that, okay, she's loud, she's boisterous, she's this and that, but usually in a very derogatory, way, as opposed to when I present myself, it's very assertive. And usually people are not used to that. So when Sandra was talking about that, I'm just like, yeah, I hear it. It's almost, I've been called like, oh, I'm a feminist. It's like the opposite of machismo, right? So it's like the other side, that the woman is like, oh yeah, all men, are evil or suck. No, it's not that. It's the fact that we have been silenced for so long. We Latinas, we have been silenced and playing in the back seat for so long, and we have so many creative ideas, so many innovations that people wouldn't know unless we talked about it. And so now we have to fight for our right to be able to speak. And some individuals, some communities cannot handle that because of all the norms, all the societal roles we've been playing. But when is it going to be time for us to actually do that? We're not harming our soul. We're not being ill intentions. We're not doing anyone anything wrong. We just have a desire to express ourselves in the most authentic way, because authenticity will always reign and win in my book. And so why is it that we must ask for permission? I grant myself permission to talk. When I walk in a room, oh, you are going to look at me, because I will command that room, and I will command the attention, not in a bad way or a superficial way, in a way that I tell you I came not to play, but to do business in a positive way.
I love
Can
that.
can I share a little story, you guys? And I think it's gonna really piss you all off, but it's pretty damn funny to me. So I was over at Jody Lamb's house, who's another Hounds of Business community member, and we were recording all day to do a batch recording. And I took an Uber home, and the Uber driver, though well intentioned, in his mid 30s, was asking what I was doing because I had all my equipment. And so, there's a lot of bags in there. And so he's like, yeah, so what do you do? And I told him, hey, I produce content. And he goes, oh, so what does she talk about? I'm like, well, she talks about business. And he goes, or I said business and finance. And then he just goes, oh man, she's taking the hard way to create content. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, man, no man is going to want to listen to a woman talk about business when we could just listen to, older men who know more and commands more respect. And I'm sitting there looking at him going, I sat in the front and I looked at him like, you sure about that? And I'm like, why would you say that? And he goes, well, because you can't argue with me on this. Majority of the executive leaders in business are men. So therefore, they're going to have more knowledge than women. So does anyone want to give guidance on how you would have responded to that?
You open that can.
And he happened to be Hispanic.
Oh, wow. But let's
So
have
does
him on.
anyone want to offer?
I love that story, Sia, and it brings back a lot of memories of taking command of the room. And it's one of the many things I learned in the Marine Corps was stepping into a room and smelling the testosterone. In this room, there's the toughest, type A personality, male machistas that this country has to offer. So here comes not only a woman, but a Latina at that, to give some type of direction or community, whatever training I had going on. And it was in that moment I realized how I take command of that room sets a precedence. How I believe in myself, this ability to cultivate sexy confidence in myself, because I know I got this, so self-belief needs to be generated from within so you can exude it through your body language. And when you know and you prepare and you know what you're talking about, you're going to be better able to take command of any room. And I say this because in the room were these business executives, but military type generals, generals, commanding officers, commanders. And I realized, oh my goodness, these men are here, and I'm going to give a training lesson on whatever, and they want my advice. So I had to walk in very confident and, knowledgeable and with what I had to share. So not only, is the communication piece an important aspect for women and Latinas, or anybody watching, Arab, European, Asians. But it's important to understand your body language. And, and I'm sure I can see the conversation, Sia. I know you were assertive addressing this gentleman, letting him know, no, you have it twisted, right?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. No, I was polite, guys. First off, I know people think I'm mean and all that. I'm not. When it comes to things like this, where I know it's an opportunity for education than anything, I could tell. And he was a veteran. Like I said, like I just felt really bad because he didn't have, I think, the education. Like
Yes.
I could tell he just wasn't well read, right? So I can't fault him because he has this impression, because this is the way he was taught himself, and he
Yes.
hasn't had the opportunity to better himself, to get educated, to see maybe a different perspective. And I'm okay with that. You have to understand where people are coming from. So no, I didn't attack him. No, I didn't belittle him,
Beautiful.
but I did give him food for thought. And at the end of it, he actually said, thank you for talking to me. And he goes, hey, you brought up some great points. He said it. He's like, thanks for bringing up some great points. I never thought of it this way. And I just, in my little own head, I'm like, that's a win for Sia. And that's how you can have difficult conversations where people are not necessarily going to agree with you from the jump, but maybe you chip away a little bit of that stance
Yes.
and those little chips are what we need to do. I get it. I'm a bull in the china shop. I will tell you exactly how I feel. Sometimes it's not that tactful, but sometimes that truth needs to happen. In this conversation, guys, you guys being extraordinarily powerful women in your own right, in your own self, that you believe you're a powerhouse, that is very unsettling for a lot of people. And sometimes it just takes time to, win them with, what's that saying? Win them with sugar over, vinegar, honey over vinegar. Sometimes you have to with certain personalities, and other times a big old, like, slap on the, arm.
Yes.
I'm trying not to advocate violence, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to do a little, firmer push
And that's
in the
where
right direction.
exactly, Sia. And if I may, that's where we step up as leaders. That where you engage a room and you see this male, who's not happy with having a Latina, a woman giving him a class or teaching him a period of instruction. I can tell by his look, his facial expression, the guy's not happy. But I'm there to be a professional, and I'm going to be authentically myself. And I know that something in me, it's this emotional intelligence, right? Having the emotional intelligence to understand I'm the leader here. I'm the professional. I'm going to, I challenge his perspective, whatever he thinks about women Marines or women leaders in this case. I'm going to challenge that, whatever he's thinking of, through being a professional, giving him the wealth of information that he needs at that moment, and walking away, with, again, the almost professionalism, kindness, being, again, these femininity traits have served me so well in learning to be receptive and understand people. And when you take a step back and kind of put yourself in their shoes and realize, well, you know what? He's not used to seeing a woman give him a class, or a female leader. Well, this is his first time. And let me make an impression. Let me, let me be open to where he asks questions and I can offer him some advice and be of value. But we're not going to impress everybody, and this is okay. And especially as business leaders, we're here to attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. Right. And a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, they're afraid of rejection, but we need to normalize rejection. It's okay, especially as leaders.
So, okay, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up, Mike, if I may. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Sandra, I know you just said that, but what is it going to take for us to be able to, you know, redefine the narrative, redefine the fact that we can step up to these leadership positions and powerful positions, and not be like doubted, right? Because I know we face that on a daily basis. Like, oh, she's just a pretty face. She doesn't know anything, and at the end of the day, they don't know who I am, as a person, as a professional. So once they start finding out that I'm highly educated, they change their tone,
Mm,
right? Their attitude changes. So when is it that we're going to be walking in our own, what we really deserve? So this is the problem that I have, because I'm trying to build a world where my daughters won't have to feel this way. They won't have to fight for the right to be seen, right? They don't have to have all these accolades behind their name, or the letters, all this 26, whatever, how many letters are in the alphabet, and say, I am this, but still not be seen when they are out there. Like, it just doesn't settle well with me. And that is why I highly advocate for education, for young Latinas, for
yes.
everyone, but for young Latinas, for me, it's been a passion, because for me, it has been my saving grace. If I did not have the opportunities at education, and I fought for those opportunities, I would not be where I am today. I would not be this enlightened.
I agree, and it's going to take some time, Raquel. Having my oldest again, she served 5 years. She's a veteran. She served 5 years as a U.S. Marine. She's in North Carolina studying psychology. My youngest, junior here at UCSD. I think the most important thing we can teach our young women, whether Latinas, European, Asians, because I've worked with the Arab community as well, um, is this ability to feel comfortable in our own skin. That's first and foremost. If you feel comfortable in your own skin, then chances are you're going to like yourself. And when you like yourself, you're going to be more optimistic. And when you're more optimistic, again, there's going to be more opportunities for you as a woman that you can explore. But I think it does boil down to, how do I feel about myself? How do I feel in my own skin? And I think that's where it begins, and it goes back to little Emma. She has a father who adores her. Mike loves her so much. He's filling up her love tank. And that's where it starts. It starts in our families.
Ooh, I cannot tell you how truer words are spoken on that. My father, I lost him last year. He treated us as, like, I could say I grew up a tomboy. I think it's more me anyway, but he treated us as as if we were boys, girls, doesn't matter. He just treated us, you need to be self-sufficient. I guess that's the way I could say it, right? Like, he taught us how to change the oil. Taught us how to fix a flat tire. And when I say taught us how to fix a flat tire, someone say that 10 times fast for me, please. Speak English. Fix a flat tire. Say it in Spanish. Maybe it's not a tongue twister. He literally would pull over on the side of the road with a flat tire, like pretend he had a flat tire, and tell us to change it. Like, and it's always struck with me, because he challenged us in a way where there are times it's okay to ask for help. And we did, because I was freaking 7 years old. I'm going to ask for help. But he asked me, well, what tools are next? What tools do you use? What are the steps that you would do? So as long as he knew that I knew conceptually, I knew what to do. Obviously, as a 7-year-old, you're not going to be, untightening those bolts, but that's where he's also testing me of, do I know when to say, Dad, I need help from you too. It was like such a perfect life lesson on that. And I think that's where, when you have a father that's an advocate, when you have an uncle that's an advocate, or an older brother or a cousin that's an advocate for you, it does go a long way. And they tend to be the unspoken heroes too in all that. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have a father figure, but they had community members. And I think that's another reason why community is so important. And I think maybe for us in the future in the United States, we need to get back into that community mindset. That's my 2 cents. So there's a question here that's been like sitting for a little bit, you guys. If you don't mind, I'm going to just not so eloquently jump into it, because I do think it feeds into our next area, which is, both of you ladies, whoever wants to go first, do you have to prove your credentials in certain situations?
a good
in
question.
your career?
Mm,
Hmm.
mm. I have a lot to say on this one, but I think I'll give the the short version of it. Yes, sometimes, like I said, whenever you show up to a place and you're just very nice, I'm a nice person. I really am. Usually my smile opens up the room for talking. But when it boils down to the accolades, when it boils down to the credentials and the credits that you have under your name, you do have to sometimes flash those, and it's very uncomfortable because I consider myself a very humble person. I and Sia and Mike and you and I have already talked about this, that I don't flash my what I know, my degrees. I don't flash them because I believe those are, yes, I worked hard for them, blood, sweat, and tears, but they don't define who I am as an individual. You can strip me away from my degrees. That's not going to change who I am as a person and what I can contribute to the world in a positive way. So leading with kindness and leading with love is monumental for me. But in a room, whenever you go networking, whenever you have to prove your position to someone, yes, you sometimes do have to prove your credentials. So I like to say I'm Latina. I've been in Houston for the last 30 years. I come from two distinct communities that I learned a lot from. So I can have the Harvard voice, but I can also get really, really down with you and give you the real Raquel whenever you cross. So don't try it. Just kidding.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
I got to hear from Sandra.
I'm with Raquel 100%. Because if I were just to show up, most people would be like, okay, who's this Latina? Okay, she's from San Diego. That's nice. But it's when you show your credentials, when I furnish my bio, when I say, hey, I'm a neuro change practitioner, I'm certified, executive coach, I'm this, I'm then. It's like, okay, you give them the evidence they need, and it like validates them, hiring you or working with you or what have you. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And so I agree with Raquel's statement, everything she said. You might see, I love being feminine now. I mean, I always have loved. My parents taught me that I'm a woman first and foremost, because when I joined the military, I had a potty mouth, profanity up the yin yang, and my parents were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't forget, you're a woman first and foremost." And I was 18 years old, naive. I joined this gun club. I need to be, I want to be part of the guys. So I got to talk like the guys. I got to dress like the guys. I got to act like the guys. And it clicked in that moment that I realized, screw that shit. I got to be
Yes.
myself. I'm going to be the best authentic version of myself, and this is what you get. However, I know that as a female, I have to work 3 or 4 times harder than my male counterparts just to earn their respect. And I'm willing to
Yes.
do that. And, it hasn't been easy as a woman, but it's made me stronger, more resilient, and really enables me to develop mental toughness, which is, I think, very important nowadays, especially for entrepreneurs. But I agree with what Raquel said 100%.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. Look, there's so much here. By the way, I'm gonna go with Sia. Um, so yeah, so there's a difference. Back what you were talking about, Sia. There's a difference between someone not being educated or not having that dialogue, right? Versus just being a total donkey's ass, right? There's a big because I seen you on both ends. I'm on spool. That's how I met you. Remember that? So you were there in a room and you were just doing your thing, and then my buddy comes in and just attacks you, and you embarrass him, and that's okay. Actually why I reached out to you, because I'm like, wow, look, like, who says there's a strong, powerful woman in the corner? Let me go fight her. Like, that was interesting to watch. That was my first LinkedIn experience. However, you know, I'm going to put the onus back on men. I really have to, because why is this okay? Like it's not okay. So I'm not the type of guy that run around and talk about, how I'm a champion for women and all that stuff. I think that's just not my style. But I will speak up and I will say something. And it bothers me when people don't do that. So when you said you had to work a million times harder or 10 times harder, why? Again, fire department, we have criteria. If you meet that criteria and you're capable to do the job, I don't care. I was one of the first people that was like, I'll take Martha. Martha was like 18 times stronger than me in the first place, right? Like Martha was the person I would want on a team, whether regardless if she had a mustache or not, right? So I just think that men out there don't feel like it's weird. You can engage in that conversation. You should. I think it's our obligation personally to say, hey, and you don't have to get mad and all grumpy, but you should not let this go. I think that's why it's 2023 and sometimes it still feels like 1823 because men just need to say, hey, that's not cool. Because I have daughters and I promise you, I'll probably slap you in the head if you were
I,
to say that to my daughters. So
mm,
someone's daughter is having to deal with this. Why? Why it drives me crazy. So that's just my own 2 cents. But I would
well,
love. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's just to that what you just said. For me, I would choose a woman because in any team, just because I know the innate resilience we have within ourselves. We are fighters, no joke. We have it naturally within us, and knowing that despite all the adversities that we may face, we will overcome, and that has proven the test. It stood the test of time, and this is why I said I value my female counterparts. I value that what they contribute. And that's why I advocate so much for young Latinas, for just anyone to get educated. But young Latinas, I know we just have that desire, that fire within us to change the world, to contribute positive things that will lead generations, that will, just create the next innovation like STEM, technology, healthcare. There's so much that we can give as Latina women, and as women in general, but we get often overlooked. And this is where I have a problem. I'm like, we need to change things. We need to change things and make this world more accepting that we do have talents, and give us more visibility. Just give us the opportunities. So,
Hey,
So
I gotta ask, like, when how long was it for the Hounds to have more than 3 men in it? Like, for the Hounds was like women dominated like forever, and then there was men coming in, but they didn't have an attitude, right? Like they I was like, oh, I'm not the only one that realizes this is cool if you treat them. I just want you to do the job. You're either skillful, unskillful, wise, unwise, right? You're either good or not. That's how I see things. I don't care about it. I'm just fortunate that we still have bias, and it's in my advantage, but I really don't care, and that's how I built the community the way it is. Sorry, go ahead, Sia.
no, I just want to make sure everyone's kosher and everyone in the audience. We are at the top of the hour and I want to be respectful, but there are two questions I really want to highlight. So if you guys can hang on for a few more minutes, let's ask them because this is a very real problem. And there are extraordinarily good looking people today, all four of us. And this is something we live every day. How do you handle men and women, Mike, who hit on you when you need these relationships for your business?
Woo, I'm the
Who would like to
boy.
take that one?
I should, but I'm not because I have look. That's why the Hounds is still here because these women, like, I became their like how to deal with creepy dude coach. So go ahead, ladies. I want to hear what you. I got to hear from you.
well, with me, I'm assertive when it comes to that. I don't play that game. I don't, and that's why sometimes I'm called, names, because I don't budge. It's not an interest of me. I'm here to work on projects. I'm here to build an empire. I'm here to raise my kiddos, and I don't have time for games. So I'm very assertive in that, respectfully assertive. And some men can take it, other men cannot. Then if they cannot take it and respect that, then that means I don't need to be doing business with them.
Ooh,
Nice.
so good.
Sandra.
I feel the heat, Raquel. Love that. Que chingona, hermana. Totalmente. So beautiful. So I'm going to be brutally honest. How do I handle men who hit on me, right? I don't get hit on. Like, like seriously, I do not get hit on. Maybe because I come off as a professional, but my family members, like my cousins, I grew up around guys, and they all say, "You're single because men are intimidated by you. And I'm like, I'm the sweetest person in the world. Yes, I'll go to the gym and yes, sometimes I do lift heavier than some guys around me, but that's just how I grew up, in the Marine Corps, lifting weights. I love that shit. But I don't get hit on. I mean, if I'm at a conference, at a networking event, I keep it very professional. I do see every now and then like somebody trying to, like
Weedle, test the waters,
test the waters.
poke the beer a little bit, like touch the, yeah,
Yes, test the water, so to speak. And just like Raquel, I, assert my assertiveness. I'm assertive, I'm professional, and I'm there for, it's a professional gathering. I'm not there looking for a boyfriend. I'm not there to get hit on. I'm there looking for opportunities. Now, if I have had an opportunity that turned, there was an agenda. So there was at one time where I was like, okay, this guy had an agenda. But I'm very,
Yep.
I'm very direct. I'm very direct,
Yep.
and I have no problems communicating. But like Raquel, I'm professional, and you have to communicate directly. And also, and it's one of the things I showed, and I teach women is, how are you behaving? How's your body language?
Yep.
What's your intention? Anywhere you go, you have to have an intention. Obviously, if I'm going to the club, if I'm going to happy hour with my girls, it's my intention is
Different.
different. It's different. But at a networking event or again, at a professional, in this professional atmosphere or environment, you have to exude that professionalism. And I think most people do pick up on that, and they respect that for the most part.
So if I can, I love that, what you just said, because what I'm about to say is probably going to sound a little controversial, but understand what I'm saying when I say it, okay? Leverage your strengths, but don't rely on your strengths. So if someone finds you attractive, that's on them. Okay. So I'm a big fan of, look, if you're attractive, you're going to be attractive. If you have a great personality, you're intelligent, you know what you're doing, then it makes you doubly and triply more attractive. If you know that someone's intention is just about chicka wow wow with you and they don't value you, then you know exactly where to put them in the value scale of business relationships. Now, if they are in a power position, then you also know, it's like chess. Then you also know this quote power positioned person has an incredible weakness. So now use that short-sightedness of them not valuing you to your benefit. So engage the team. See how he works, or work with the team, and see where, if they disrespect you or they cross boundaries, then the odds are high they probably cross boundaries elsewhere in their own organization or team, and use it to your advantage as far as understand where your position is, and again, find your allies that are going to support you for your actual business needs and be professional about it. So it sounds controversial, but it's chess, people. If someone's going to quote diminish your value based on your looks because they want to bow chicka wow wow, then you know exactly where you fit with them, and move forward with whatever it is that you need. So
Okay.
that's my 2 cents.
Okay, now Randy House, help me out. Did anybody hear anything she said after Bow Chicka Wow Wow? Because I couldn't get over it. Come on, Randy House, Zen Sandwich, come on. Gee whiz. No, you're right. And again, I had a friend of mine not too long ago. She got, she was excited. Hey, this guy in this business and, can be a connector for me and all of this. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I hope this is like, of course it turned creepy, right? So it's a Friday and she's getting these text messages and these little innuendos. And she said, what should I do? Honestly, like you do a unruly child or a bad dog, you just ignore it. Honestly, it's Friday, 6 p.m. There's no business going on here, right? So you just ignore it. And then Monday rolls around, you pick up that shit where you left off. Hey, Billy, are we going to, get that email out? And I said, by the way, he's throwing you evidence to send his wife anyway. So you have the leverage. Let's not forget that. So ladies, don't have to overreact. Yeah, don't overreact. Okay. Just do you. And if he ever wants to push the bullet, say, hey, I will push this button and send it to your wife. You better stop that. All right. And men, stop this. You got to knock it off. If you just sit over there, eat a sandwich, be a good guy, you will get hit on more than you can count. That it doesn't, don't
Yes.
stop the weirdness. Stop the weirdness. I promise you. That's all I got. I can't. You're going to get me started, and we got to stop soon.
Well,
So,
okay. So let me pull up the next question.
yeah.
That Luisa, by the way, Navy veteran. Thank you very much for your service. Do you value lived experiences over degrees?
My goodness, that is a good question. You know, I'll take that one first. For me, it is a very delicate balance and dance between both of those. At If you had asked me this before, I would have been like, no, education is the way. You know why? Because that was what was ingrained in my little brain when I was a 9 year old when I came to this country. Education, education, education. You have to become una mujer de bien, or a woman of good, however you define that. And that literally translated to go to school, get as many degrees as you can, and then, get a job. But now seeing how powerful the career choices, entrepreneurship, I believe that, with my girls, and this is where I had to shift my mentality, my mindset is equipping them with an opportunity to be able to decide for themselves and say, hey, okay, do you want to go to college? Even though I really wish they do, they go to A&M, right? Because I'm an Aggie. Um, and but if they choose not to, they choose to really go into entrepreneurship, I will support that, because at the end of the day, they're doing what they love to do. They're following their passions. And if they're anything like me, if they end up being anything like me, their passions and their heart will take them further than any degree will.
Beautifully, beautifully said, Raquel. And it is definitely, a delicate balance of having both. Both are a superpower, make you a superpower. But for me personally, for me, it's the lived experience. I want to experience things. I want to step into the discomfort. I want to give myself that evidence I need so then I can be that leader who uplifts others and say, hey, I've been rejected before. I've been in your shoes. I've done that. I've gotten comfortable with the discomfort, because that's where I experience growth. At least for me, that's been very rewarding, very transformational. The degrees, as I coach badass women, some of them have like 3 degrees, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And she's coming to me for confidence, because we all lack confidence, in certain areas. But I put personally more emphasis in the lived experience, because as we're having this live stream, communicating what we've done, what we've endured, lived, and how we can serve others. It's until you step into the discomfort that you're going to grow and change and experience transformational results. So, great question, Louisa, and thank you for your service, fellow
Yeah.
Navy veteran.
Dude, I don't. Not only do I hear a part like 10, coming, but I mean, like veteran. We got to get the female veterans up here, man. Active military veteran women. We got you got to DM me. All right. I know I haven't said anything. Raquel can share my profile. I'm somewhere. Uh, DM me, because this is great stuff, man. So, and by the way, everybody has heard this in some kind of book. You all said a lot of things I've heard other people say, and it's true and it's timely, but y'all were the most believable that I can remember saying this stuff. Like, you have proven yourself, right? You with the things you ladies have done. And I don't want to hear something from some guru that writes books and gets paid for it. I want to hear from somebody who has done it. That's what I care about. And this is why I think the audience is really engaged in this, because it's real. We know where you come from. We know what you did day in and day out. The challenges you all overcome in your own rights, man. That is something special. So let me gosh, I know. Look, I got to get this out because I don't want people leaving before they find out what you got going on. So, Sandra, what projects or initiatives are you currently working on? Like, what do you have going on? Our viewers can support you, and how?
Well, I definitely want to point out 2 things. I have free training. You can go to sexyconfidencetraining.com to access my free training if you want to know more about what I offer. And the other thing is, I love live events. I'm hosting an empowering retreat in del Carmen, Mexico next year. This is for leaders who want to cultivate
Nice.
sexy confidence so they can lead themselves and others. That's who this empowering retreat is for. And there's so much fun. Think about an infinity pool as I hand you a margarita, with a beautiful beach in the background, and it's just like-minded leaders. And it's not necessarily about, you know, it's the people that you connect with at the retreats that really leaves an indelible mark in your heart that becomes like your best friend. And that's why I love these live events. So for that, you can go to sandragonzalez.com/retreat to get more information. I also do have an upcoming group coaching here in a couple of weeks I'm really excited about. But thank you for having me, Hounds of Business community. It's been an incredible happy hour, and I cannot wait to meet you in person. I know it's forthcoming.
Oh, it's coming. Oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna work on it now. Like me and Sia's already started chatting about it, like next year and all this stuff. Dude, I'm serious. You all, I mean, it's just hard to find someone more balanced. I never get the impression that you 2 are trying too hard or either
Mhm.
way. Like, I've never seen somebody right in the middle, like you 2 ladies. I love it. It's not too much, it's not enough, it's not like me, right? It's, like, all over the place. But last little thing, because Raquel, this kind of floors me. When you said that you can come out a little too harsh or I've never caught it. I just maybe I'm dense, right? It just went over my country head. I don't know. But I think too, just to that point, people also see what they want to see. So it's not just what you're putting out; it's what the hell they're tuning
Mhm.
into. Does that make sense? You can be in a better mood, bad mood, and it's going to also. So just be you. That's the whole point. That's what I hear
Yes.
Sandra saying. And that sounds easy, but there's more to it than just be you. You be your best self. And so if you want someone to help you, figure that out for yourself. And that's what Sandra is here for, right? Scan that QR. And then not, hey, Raquel, what project? You got a lot of projects. So just give us the
Oh,
short version.
Jesus.
What can we do? How
Yeah.
can we support you? What do you got going on?
Oh my goodness, y'all. Well, first of all, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be surrounded by such a supportive community above anything else. Having met so many individuals who have added, to their pebbles to create that stone pavement or way for me to stabilize my life and really come to my own. It's been so magical to watch. So I thank you all for that. Being the Hounds of Business community being one of them. So for me right now, because it is Hispanic Heritage Month, I have so many projects going on. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Jesse Martinez and the entire crew and the team who's putting together the Hano Tech summit here in Houston, Texas. We will have next week is going to be a busy week of so many different events. And so I want to give a shout out for including me in that. Adrian Leal, thank you so much for that as a co-chair. But one of the biggest and something that is dear and near to my heart because it really combines healthcare and education, which are two passions of mine, Caregiving Worldwide Network. Shout out to you, Tracy Lamb and Jana Shokrian and everybody else who's involved with that project. I'm eternally grateful for being chosen as to carry the torch for my Latina community, for the Hispanic Spanish speaking communities who will have for the first time a caregiving channel solely dedicated to them in their language so that we can provide better quality of life for our caregivers and our elderly as well and individuals with disabilities. So those are the two main ones that I have going on. As always, I have things going on with the Hounds of Business, so many things with Sia, Walking Tall Movement, Brilliant View Media. But to find out a little bit more, always, just connect with me in my LinkedIn or in Raquel Flores Connection Corner every Saturday.
Gosh, that was the short list. Daggum. I was like, wow, that was the short list. You ladies, man. Hey, Nicole, Angai, Galindo, Nick. All right, the gifted bipolar writer. Man, we love the fact that you're behind the scenes making stuff happen. Thank you so much. Caregiving Worldwide. We talk about you all the time. Thank you for what you do. You're a fan, and you're just you keep me okay, man. Putting up with me is no easy task, right, Sia? Be quiet. Don't answer that. All right. So you all are fantastic, man. This has been phenomenal. I don't want to end. Nobody else cares what time it is, but I know you ladies have things to do and people to help and serve. And so, look, if you are stray out there, you haven't found your pack, you haven't found where you belong, well, look, you come to the right place. All right. So if you found your pack, test this out. And then, guys, I always
Mhm.
tell you, it's not a prison. And no, it's not a cult. Del Rodriguez, until we get the land and property title, then it's not officially a cult, bro. But, you know, come and go, but you don't have to be just with us. Just, hey, there's different aspects, different groups. There's some groups out there who are great, communities that are great. We just offer what we offer. We're mostly entrepreneurs. We want to all boats rise with the tide, like Cia says, and we get business done, man. We get serious collaborations. Money's being made, things and lives are being changed. But we do that foundationally with relationships, man. But we thrive on relationships, friendships, authenticity, helping each other become our best selves, as Sandra was saying, guys. So hey, DM me, Cia, Raquel, most of the people here. Somebody's got to know a hound somewhere. So, guys, we got so much on the horizon, man. The future is bright. Love you guys. Thank you for making this awesome. I hope you got a lot out of it. Ladies, love you to death. Thank you all. We're going to have a round 16 before it's over with. Too much. So, everybody out there, DM somebody. All right. Appreciate you guys, man. We'll see you on the next one. Round it up. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.